You've got to understand something right now. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to pick you up when you fall. Nobody's coming to push you when you're tired. And nobody's going to fight for your dreams like you will. That's the truth most people spend their whole lives avoiding. They keep waiting, waiting for help, for support, for someone to notice their struggle. But the world doesn't care how tired you are, how broken you feel, or how much potential you think you have. The world responds to action, not emotion. It rewards effort, not excuses. The moment you realize that you're all you've got, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for approval. You start moving like a soldier in enemy territory because you finally understand that the mission is your responsibility. The problem is we've been trained to depend. Since childhood, we've been told someone's coming. A teacher, a coach, a leader, a friend. Someone to guide us, to motivate us, to fix us. But that's a lie that keeps you weak. The truth is, no one's coming. Nobody owes you anything. Life doesn't hand out trophies for effort, and it doesn't give you second chances just because you had good intentions. You have to take ownership. Every day you spend waiting for help, you're falling further behind. Every time you say, I'll start when I feel ready, you're giving away another piece of your potential. You've got to become your own rescue team. You've got to look in the mirror and say, if I don't do it, it's not getting done. Because nobody else is going to wake you up at 4 a.m. Nobody else is going to believe in your vision when it's invisible to everyone else. Nobody's going to drag you out of bed, throw you your shoes, and say, let's go chase greatness. That's on you. It's always been on you. And that realization should light a fire in your chest. Because once you stop waiting for help, you stop being helpless. Once you stop depending on others to motivate you, you start to control your own destiny. Every great transformation begins with that moment of truth. When you stop pointing fingers and start taking responsibility. You can't keep blaming your circumstances, your past, or your environment. Everyone's got pain. Everyone's got problems. But not everyone has the courage to face them alone. When you finally accept that your life is your fault, your success becomes your choice. That's when things start to shift. You stop wasting energy on complaints and start investing it in action. You stop saying, why me, and start saying, try me. You start moving with purpose, not pity. When nobody's coming, you stop being afraid of being alone. Because you learn that solitude is power. You start to hear your own voice again. Not the world's noise, not society's expectations, not the opinions of people who've never walked your path. Just you and your mission. And that silence becomes sacred. You realize you don't need motivation from others because your purpose is bigger than your pain. Your goals are louder than your fears. You begin to see struggle not as punishment, but as preparation. Every challenge, every failure, every setback. They're not signs of defeat, they're lessons. They're your training ground. This world respects the doers. It respects those who act even when it's hard, even when it hurts. And you become one of them when you stop waiting for rescue and start building your own way out. You become relentless. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop hoping for easy days. You start showing up every single day like nobody's coming because nobody is. That's when your character starts to harden. That's when you stop talking about what you'll do someday and start proving it today. So stop looking around. Stop hoping someone will understand your pain or pull you from your darkness. No one's coming. It's time to get up and move. You've got breath in your lungs, strength in your soul, and a choice to make, to stay down or to rise. This is your fight. This is your story. And it begins the moment you stop waiting and start working. Pain will always find you. You can try to hide, you can try to avoid it, but pain doesn't need an invitation. It will show up unannounced, unplanned, and unrelenting. Most people treat pain like an enemy, something to escape, something to numb, something to blame. But the truth is, pain is the best coach you'll ever have. Pain doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't care about your ego or your feelings. It strips you down to your core and asks one question. How bad do you want it? That's what pain does. It exposes the difference between those who wish and those who work. Between those who say they want to change and those who actually do. The world has taught you to run from pain. We live in a time where comfort is king. Soft beds, soft minds, soft habits. We've been programmed to believe that struggle is a sign something's wrong. But real growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in chaos. It happens when your mind screams, stop, but your heart whispers, keep going. That's where transformation begins. Pain is the price of admission for greatness. You can't earn strength in the absence of suffering. Every rep that burns, every mile that hurts, every failure that crushes you. That's the payment. That's the toll life demands before it lets you level up. If you never face pain, you never learn who you are. You can read 1,000 books, watch 100 motivational videos, talk about discipline all day long. But until you've bled for something, you don't know what you're made of. Pain reveals you. It exposes your limits, your fears, your excuses. It takes away the mask and shows the world your real face. And when you face that truth, when you stop running from it, that's when you get power. Because now you're not afraid anymore. You've been broken and you didn't quit. You've been burned and you came back stronger. You start to realize that pain isn't the enemy. It's the proof that you're still in the fight. Every great comeback starts with pain. Every strong mind was built through suffering. The people you admire, the ones who seem unbreakable, they weren't born that way. They were shaped by hardship. They learned to stop cursing pain and started learning from it. When you hurt, your body's screaming for comfort, but your soul's craving growth. You've got to choose which voice to listen to. The weak listen to the pain. The strong listen to the purpose. Pain is temporary, but what it creates is permanent. It builds endurance. It teaches humility. It gives you perspective. You can't understand success until you've tasted struggle. You can't value peace until you've walked through chaos. The next time life hits you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Every challenge you face is training. Every setback is conditioning. You're being built, not broken. Pain is carving out space inside you for strength to grow. It's forcing you to evolve. It's trying to make you the kind of person who can handle the weight of what you're asking for. Because everyone wants greatness. Few are willing to carry what greatness demands. If you can learn to see pain as part of your process, not your punishment, you'll stop fearing it. You'll start embracing it. You'll start to understand that discomfort is the signal of growth. It means you're stretching, expanding, becoming more than you were yesterday. When you finally accept pain as your teacher, you stop resisting it. You start using it. You turn your suffering into strategy. You take every heartbreak, every failure, every betrayal, and you use it as fuel. You channel it into discipline, into drive, into hunger. That's how warriors are made. Not by avoiding pain, but by learning to walk with it. Pain will always be part of your story, but it doesn't have to define you. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. The choice is yours. So when it hurts, when you're tired, when you feel like you can't take another step, remember, that's the point. That's where the separation happens. That's where the average stop and the relentless keep going. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't quit. Every ache in your soul is a reminder that you survived what was meant to destroy you. So don't run from the pain. Look it in the eye. Learn from it. Let it sharpen you, toughen you, shape you. Because pain isn't there to stop you. It's there to build you into someone who can't be stopped. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when it's easy and disappears when it's hard. It whispers in your ear when you're excited, when you're winning, when everything feels good. And then it abandons you when life gets heavy. That's why most people never reach greatness. They're prisoners of motivation. They wait for the perfect feeling to act. They wait for the spark before they move. But the truth is, you'll never feel ready. You'll never wake up one morning and magically have the fire every single day. The ones who win are the ones who act without it. The ones who build their lives on discipline, not desire. Discipline is the difference between dreamers and doers, between those who quit when it hurts, and those who push through regardless of pain. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't ask you how you feel. It doesn't negotiate with your excuses. Discipline says, you said you'd do it, so do it. It's the voice that shows up when motivation runs away. It's the habit that carries you when emotions fail you. Motivation fades when you're tired. Discipline thrives when you're tired. Motivation leaves when it's inconvenient. Discipline stays when everything falls apart. That's why you have to build your life around habits, not hype. You can't rely on fleeting energy to create lasting success. You need structure. You need systems. You need self-control. Every time you obey your emotions instead of your goals, you weaken yourself. You teach your mind that comfort matters more than commitment. But every time you choose discipline, every time you do what needs to be done instead of what feels good, you take your power back. You become the kind of person who can be trusted with greatness. You build mental calluses the same way your hands get tough from work. You stop flinching at discomfort. You stop quitting when it gets hard. You stop needing someone to push you because you've learned to push yourself. The world is full of people with potential. They have dreams, they have plans, they talk about what they want. But very few of them have discipline. And that's why very few ever change. Everyone wants the results, but no one wants the repetition. Everyone wants the glory, but no one wants the grind. The truth is, success isn't about doing something once. It's about doing it every single day, when it's boring, when it's uncomfortable, when no one's watching. Discipline is showing up when your body's sore, your mind's tired, and your emotions are screaming for rest. Discipline is choosing progress over pleasure, responsibility over relaxation. Discipline is doing the work when motivation has long left the room. The strongest people you'll ever meet aren't the ones who have constant energy or excitement. They're the ones who show up anyway. They've mastered consistency. They've learned to silence that inner voice that says, take a break, or you deserve to rest. They know when to rest, but they never use it as an escape. They understand that success is not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about one great day. It's about 1,000 average days done with relentless effort. The grind isn't supposed to be glamorous. It's supposed to be repetitive. It's supposed to test your patience. That's the point, because that's where character is forged. You've got to train your mind to stop needing to feel good to act. Feelings are unreliable. They're temporary. You can't build an empire on something that changes with the weather. Discipline is your anchor. It keeps you grounded when life storms around you. When you live by discipline, you stop chasing moods and start chasing mastery. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You become the type of person who doesn't need to talk about what they'll do because your actions already prove it. The truth is, when you depend on motivation, you'll always quit when it hurts. But when you depend on discipline, you'll keep going because you made a promise to yourself. And self-respect is built in those moments when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when you're fighting alone and still show up. That's how confidence is created, not through praise, but through proof. Proof that you can trust yourself to do what's required, even when it's hard. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. The secret is simple. Act first, feel later. Move before your mind talks you out of it. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it gets. And one day, you'll realize that motivation doesn't matter anymore because you've become the kind of person who doesn't need it. You don't chase energy. You create it. You don't seek permission. You command it. Discipline is your freedom, your power, your identity. It's what separates the average from the unstoppable. Nobody cares. That's the hardest truth you'll ever accept and the most freeing one you'll ever live by. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your pain. Nobody cares about your past or how hard your life's been. The world isn't sitting around hoping you'll succeed. It's not waiting to clap for you. Everyone's too busy dealing with their own battles. And that's okay, because that's how it's supposed to be. Once you truly accept that nobody cares, you stop needing validation. You stop performing for applause. You stop begging for attention. You start working for yourself. You start living with purpose. Too many people waste their energy trying to prove something to others, chasing likes, seeking approval, explaining their grind. But here's the truth. Nobody's watching as closely as you think. People will cheer when you win and disappear when you lose. They'll talk about your success, but forget your struggle. So stop trying to impress them. Let your work speak. Let your results echo in the silence. When nobody cares, you become dangerous because you're no longer chained to opinions. You move quietly. You grind privately. You build in darkness while everyone else is showing off in the light. That's how real power is built, in silence. When nobody cares, you have two options. You can use it as an excuse to quit, or you can use it as fuel to become unstoppable. You can say, nobody supports me. Or you can say, now I don't owe anyone anything. You can cry about being alone, or you can turn solitude into strength. The choice is yours. The truth is, the moment you stop expecting sympathy, you start building resilience. Because when you realize nobody's coming to lift you up, you learn how to lift yourself. When nobody's there to motivate you, you learn to generate your own fire. That's where self-reliance is born. That's where grit lives. You've got to stop caring about being seen and start caring about becoming strong. The more you focus on attention, the weaker you get. The more you focus on mastery, the more powerful you become. Every time you do something just for approval, you rob yourself of authenticity. You become addicted to validation. And when validation disappears, your drive collapses with it. But when you do the work in silence, when you grind for yourself, when you stay consistent with no audience and no applause, that's when your foundation becomes unshakable. That's when nobody can take it from you. The truth that nobody cares isn't supposed to break you. It's supposed to free you. Because when you finally stop trying to please people, you gain back your energy, your focus, and your control. You stop being emotionally reactive. You stop being dependent on praise. You stop seeking comfort in other people's opinions. You start owning your direction. The less you care about being understood, the more you start to understand yourself. You stop explaining your grind. You stop defending your goals. You just work quietly, relentlessly, purposefully. And the results will speak louder than any speech ever could. Understand this. The quiet worker always wins in the long run. The loud ones fade fast. The ones who need attention to stay motivated burn out when the spotlight moves. But the one who trains alone, suffers alone, improves alone, that's the one who can't be shaken. Because their strength doesn't come from being seen, it comes from surviving. You've got to fall in love with the process, not the praise. Fall in love with the grind, not the glory. The real ones don't need to announce their progress. They let their actions do the talking. When it's time to show up, they're already ready. People won't understand your obsession. They won't get why you're up early, why you work late, why you stay focused while they waste time. And that's fine, because it's not their vision. They don't need to get it, you do. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It owes you nothing. But if you keep showing up, if you keep putting in the work, one day the same people who ignored you will ask how you did it. They'll call it luck, but you'll know better. It wasn't luck. It was hours, discipline, pain, and consistency that nobody saw. So stop trying to be seen. Start trying to be solid. Stop chasing validation. Start chasing growth. Let people doubt you. Let them overlook you. Use it. Turn their silence into motivation. Because when nobody cares, you have one option left: to care enough for yourself. To push when it hurts. To fight when it's dark. To keep going even when no one's clapping. That's the mindset that builds warriors. That's the mindset that builds legends. Work quietly. Work relentlessly. Work like nobody cares. Because that's the truth. And that truth, when you embrace it, will set you free. Everything starts and ends in your mind. Your body can be broken. Your environment can be chaos. But if your mind is weak, you're done. And if your mind is strong, you can survive anything. The mind is the battlefield. Every decision, every victory, every downfall, it all begins there. The world can throw punches, but it's your mind that decides whether you stand or stay down. That's why mastering it is the most important fight you'll ever have. You can't control life, but you can control how you think, how you react, how you move forward. The moment you stop letting your emotions lead you and start letting your purpose guide you, everything changes. The mind will always look for comfort. It's built to protect you from pain, from fear, from exhaustion. That's its job, to keep you safe. But the problem is, safety doesn't build strength. Safe doesn't build greatness. Every time your mind says stop, it's protecting you from growth. Every time it says, take it easy, it's trying to keep you small. You have to train your mind the same way you train your body. You have to build mental calluses through struggle, through repetition, through deliberate discomfort. Every time you ignore the voice that says, quit, you make that voice weaker. Every time you push when you don't want to, you make yourself stronger. That's how you earn control. That's how you become dangerous. When your mind stops dictating your limits and you start dictating them. You've got to stop negotiating with weakness. Stop letting your thoughts talk you out of progress. Your mind will tell you you're tired. You're not. It'll tell you it's too hard. It's not. It'll whisper that it's okay to skip today. It's not. The mind feeds on comfort, and comfort kills greatness. The only way to master it is to confront it, to go against it, to make a habit out of doing what it hates. Because the more you push against it, the more it starts to obey you. That's what true mental toughness is. It's not about never feeling fear or fatigue. It's about feeling both and choosing to move anyway. People think courage means having no fear. Wrong. Courage means mastering fear. It means understanding that fear will always exist, but it doesn't control you anymore. You feel it, you respect it, but you move through it. You stop running from the hard things. You stop letting your emotions drive your life. You start taking command of your thoughts. The mind can either be your prison or your power, and the choice is yours. Most people let their mind trap them. They live inside their fears, inside their doubts, inside their excuses. They never break free because they've never challenged that voice that says, you can't. You have to fight that voice daily. You have to silence it through action. The only way to prove it wrong is to do what it says you can't do. That's how you break the limits. When you start controlling your mind, life's chaos stops shaking you. You stop reacting emotionally to every challenge. You stop breaking down every time something goes wrong. You start moving with calm aggression, focused, sharp, unbothered. You understand that your response matters more than your circumstances. You learn to find clarity in the storm. And that's when you realize nobody's coming to calm your mind for you. Nobody's coming to fix your thoughts. You have to do that yourself. You have to become your own coach, your own leader, your own hero. You've got to be the one who says, I got this, even when everything around you says otherwise. You want to know what real freedom is? It's not money. It's not fame. It's not comfort. Real freedom is mental control. It's when nothing outside of you can break what's inside of you. It's when you can walk through pain and not flinch. When you can lose everything and still not lose yourself. When the world says give up, but your mind says, not today. That's the power of mastering your mind. Once you reach that level, you stop needing help. You stop needing rescue. Because you've become your own. You've become the kind of person who doesn't panic under pressure. You adapt, you focus, you rise. This is what it means to be your own hero. Not waiting for someone to save you. Not hoping for someone to understand you. But saving yourself. Over and over again. Every time you feel weak and still push forward, you're saving yourself. Every time you feel lost but keep walking, you're saving yourself. Every time you fall but get up anyway, you're proving that you don't need rescue. You are the rescue. That's power. That's strength. That's self-mastery. When you master your mind, you master your life. Nothing outside of you can destroy you because you've built something stronger inside of you. That's the goal. To become unshakable, unstoppable, untouchable by circumstance. To wake up and know that no matter what happens today, you'll handle it. To face life with the kind of calm that only comes from control. You don't need anyone to come and help you. You don't need anyone to push you. Because now, you are the one who leads yourself through the fire. You've built your mind into armor. You've built your heart into a weapon. You've become your own hero. And once you become that, nothing can ever break you again.